There's an article in the Wall Street Journal on how more college students are sending no-contact orders, which were traditionally reserved for issues like sexual harassment and assault, to deal with more common issues like disagreements with their roommates. And critics are saying these students are using these to avoid face-to-face conflict. And now we know lots of people try to avoid conflict, but is this should there be a different way to try to do this?
Yes, there should be a different way to do this.
Do tell.
One, to kind of preserve the sanctity of what it should be used for, you need to make sure there's a reason for people to step in and enforce this sort of thing. In the Wall Street Journal article, there was one woman that complained that she heard through friends that someone was talking about her and didn't like her. This is called being a grown adult, okay? So these are 17 and 18-year-olds.
When you said that? Okay.
I'm not saying it,
okay.
Brian will kill me. But this is what life looks like. College is the step between childhood and on your own, kiddo. It doesn't mean you're not a phone call away to advise them, but you are teaching your kids and empowering them to navigate the world when you can't be there. And so this is where you problem solve, you conflict resolve. Yeah. You have really hard conversations because guess what? It doesn't stop in school. You're gonna work with people, you're gonna date people, you're gonna live in places with people that are awful to you and say ridiculous things, and you're gonna have to figure it out. Like, that's what my parents did, and I think a whole generation of people did. If I had called my mom and said someone's being mean, she'd be like, okay, are you okay? Do you have food? Good, bye. Click. 100%. That's all.
Yeah. No, totally agree. Learning conflict resolution is a key part of life. You're gonna need it in any job, any community you live in, any friendships that you're in. I mean, I'd say like half of the roommates I had, if I had this, I would have had like a line down the hallway and like no ability to look at or talk to each other. Like, you have to just learn how to coexist with someone. It's kind of a critical life skill.
It's like me and Brian. He could take out a restraining order against me.
He's probably tried.
Right?
I've looked into it.
But you know, I had a girlfriend who was bad-mouthing me, a longtime friend.
Did you call your mom?
No, I ghosted her.
Yeah. That's a life skill.
That's it.
You know,
Bye.
I don't know. I don't know that these no contact orders are the answer, but I will say, you know, people that are 17 or 8 years old, even though an 18-year-old is considered an adult, they're kidults. You know, they're still trying to manage. And since I'm parenting a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old, there are instances where they're bullied. There are instances where, you know, it's difficult for them to resolve that kind of conflict. Absolutely, absolutely, because people are really cruel in this world. And so I think as a parent, there's nothing wrong with your child, even your adult child, calling you and asking you for advice. And for you to,
but that's not what this is. That's not what this is.
This is just, as an aside, I think it's very important for parents to be there for their kids. Right now, these kids are experiencing a crisis of mental health. They're experiencing crises of isolation and loneliness. And I don't think it's problematic for you to step in if need be.
Boy, I'm glad
I have to say, you know what? All of those words existed when I was a kid, but nobody ever said them. Nobody taught. When you had an issue and you came and said, your mother said, listen, go down there and tell them you are not doing that.
No, my mother came with me.
No. And this is why it's good, but coddling children, it's not a good thing, because when they get into these conflicts, it's the things you've been talking about. You know, we've had our kids because we had COVID and kids didn't get out. They didn't learn how to do this. They didn't learn how to do that. So you have to help them get through all those phases that they missed. And it doesn't mean that you do it for them. No, this is why people say every kid, you know, remember y'all used to say, why does every kid have to win every day? Kids, you know, people lose. People lose, and sometimes, and I know it's terrible, sometimes you get beat up. And sometimes you have to make a decision. You have to say, listen, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. And then you gotta grow. You know?
Never mind. Kids go, I mean, young people go to war at 18. That doesn't mean mom shouldn't answer the phone.
Nobody's hurting my child.
I never even told my mother.
No, but you know what? But you're not there. And they have to know. No, you won't. See this, my
She
kid,
might.
No, because her children won't let her. Her children won't let her be there because they know what they need. So they'll teach her. She'll learn.